the fastest way to fail is to rush towards success before you are ready to receive it. You think patience is passive waiting, sitting idle while opportunities pass you by. That is not patience. That is fear, dressed in robes of humility. True patience is burning, desire held under ruthless control. It is clarity so sharp that you see the valley between where you stand and where you must go, and you walk it anyway, step by step, without demanding the mountain move to meet you. God is never late, but neither does he reward the man who sits on his hands and calls it fate. Divine timing does not eliminate your responsibility. It multiplies it. I have studied 500 of the most successful men this nation has ever produced. Not one of them received their breakthrough when they demanded it. Every single one received it when they were finally ready to hold it. Andrew Carnegie did not become the wealthiest man in America the moment he desired wealth. He became wealthy the moment his character could bear the weight of fortune without being crushed by it. Thomas Edison did not invent the incandescent lamp because he was in a hurry. He perfected it because he refused to quit through 10,000 experiments that taught him what would not work. Henry Ford did not revolutionize industry because he was impatient. He transformed transportation because he held his vision with such unwavering faith that failure had no choice but to surrender. You see the outcome, you do not see the refinement. Most men lose everything they gain because they gain it before they are prepared to keep it. They pray for wealth, but have not disciplined their mind to manage money. They beg for opportunity, but have not trained their spirit to endure criticism. They demand immediate results, but have not built the mental foundation to support long-term success. Then when fortune arrives, it finds them hollow. It finds them weak. It pours through their hands like water through a net. And they stand there bewildered, wondering why God took it away. God did not take it. They were never ready to receive it. Impatience is not ambition. It is fear disguised as urgency. When you cannot wait, it is because you do not trust. You do not trust the process. You do not trust the process. You do not trust yourself. You do not trust that what is meant for you will arrive at precisely the moment you are equipped to multiply it. So you grab for things before their time. You chase shortcuts. You compromise your principles for quick returns. You accept counterfeit success because you cannot endure the tension of becoming. And that tension, that sacred pressure between desire and fulfillment is the very forge in which your character is shaped into something worthy of the goal you seek. Let me be clear. I am not telling you to sit still. I am not telling you to sit still. I am not telling you to surrender your burning ambition or reduce the intensity of your desire. Weak desire produces weak results, but desire without discipline is destruction. The man who plants a seed and digs it up every morning to see if it is growing will never harvest a crop. The man who lifts weights once and demands immediate strength will remain weak. The man who reads one book and expects total wisdom will stay ignorant. Growth has its own timetable, and that timetable is set by laws you did not create and cannot negotiate with. Your job is not to control the timing. Your job is to become someone worthy of the blessing when it arrives. You want the position of leadership, but do you have the character to lead? You want financial abundance, but have you mastered the mental equivalent of wealth? You want recognition, but are you doing work that deserves to be recognized? You want love, but have you become someone capable of loving without condition? These are not rhetorical questions. These are the standards God uses to measure readiness. And when I say God, I am speaking of infinite intelligence, the unseen power that governs natural law, the force that responds not to your words, but to the dominating thoughts of your mind. Napoleon Hill wrote in the early 20th century about success principles, but before Hill documented them, he lived them. And before he lived them, he suffered for refusing to learn them. I watched men build empires while I scraped by, and I believed myself unlucky. I watched opportunities pass through my hands, and I blamed circumstance. I wanted results immediately, and when they did not come, I changed direction. I abandoned plans. I gave up on projects. I switched from one endeavor to another, like a man jumping from stone to stone across a river, never staying long enough to build anything solid. Then I learned this truth. Every delay is preparation. Every obstacle is instruction. Every closed door is redirection toward the door you are meant to walk through. But most men never learn this. They interpret delay as denial. They see closed doors and assume rejection. They face obstacles and call them punishment. So they quit. They give up. They abandon their definite chief aim 3 feet from gold because they cannot see the gold, and their faith is too weak to keep digging. Before I continue, answer one question honestly. Are you waiting on God, or is God waiting on you? Are you delaying your success by demanding it arrive on your schedule instead of preparing yourself to receive it on His? If you are still listening, something inside you is waking up. Let me tell you about a man I met in Chicago. He had nothing, no money, no connections, no formal education. But he had one thing most men lack. He had a definite chief aim. He decided he would own a business, not might own, not hope to own, would own. He wrote this goal on paper. He read it every morning and every night. He visualized himself walking into his own storefront, serving his own customers, building something that belonged to him. But nothing happened. Months passed. A year passed. He worked menial jobs. He saved pennies. He faced ridicule from family members who told him to give up dreaming and accept his station in life. He did not give up. He did not compromise. He did not adjust his goal to fit his circumstances. He adjusted his actions to fit his goal. He studied successful merchants. He learned bookkeeping at night. He developed relationships with suppliers. He observed customer behavior. And while he waited for his opportunity, he became the man who could seize it when it appeared. 2 years later, a shop became available at a price he could afford. He purchased it. Within 5 years, he owned 3 locations. Within 10, he was teaching other men how to build businesses. Was God late? No. God was waiting for him to be ready. You think your prayers are unanswered? They are not. They are being answered by the preparation you are going through right now. You think your dreams are dying? They are not. They are being refined in the fire of adversity until they are strong enough to survive success. You think you are stuck. You are not stuck. You are being shaped. But here's what separates those who succeed from those who fail. The successful man uses waiting time. The failure wastes it. The successful man uses delay to study, to plan, to build skill, to strengthen character, to eliminate weak habits, to form strong ones. The failure uses delay to complain, to doubt, to justify quitting, to blame external circumstances for internal weakness. One man leaves the waiting period stronger. The other leaves it better. Both waited the same amount of time. Only one used it. Procrastination is not the same as patience. Procrastination is decision avoided. Patience is decision made, action begun, and faith maintained through the process. When you procrastinate, you have not yet committed. You are still negotiating with yourself. You are still weighing whether your goal is worth the price. You are still looking for an easier path. But when you are patient, you have already decided. You are already moving. You are already paying the price. You simply trust that the reward will arrive when you have earned it, not when you demand it. Most men fail because they confuse activity with progress. They stay busy. They make noise. They tell everyone about their plans. But they never finish anything because they cannot endure the middle. The beginning is exciting. The end is rewarding. But the middle is where men quit. The middle is dark. It is slow. It is repetitive. It is the valley where nothing seems to change, no matter how hard you work. And in that valley, impatient men abandon their goal and start climbing a different mountain, hoping this one will be easier. It never is. Patience is not the absence of struggle. It is faith maintained in the presence of struggle. It is knowing that every stroke of the axe brings you closer to felling the tree, even when you cannot yet see the tree begin to fall. It is understanding that compound effort produces exponential results, but only after enough time has passed for the compounding to occur. 1 stroke will not fell an oak. 100 might not. But 1,000 will if each stroke lands in the same place. Henry Ford once said to me, "Hill, most men spend their lives sharpening the axe and never swinging. You must swing, but you must also swing at the same tree long enough to cut it down." He built an empire because he swung at the same tree. Not 10 trees, not 100, 1 tree. 1 vision, 1 automobile for the common man. And he swung at it through ridicule, through failure, through financial ruin, through public criticism. He swung until the tree fell. You think he was lucky? He was not. He was patient. Now let me tell you what patience is not. Patience is not lowering your standards. It is not lowering your standards. It is not settling for less. It is not accepting mediocrity because excellence takes too long. Patience is keeping your standards high while you build the skills to reach them. It is refusing counterfeits while you wait for the real thing. It is enduring temporary discomfort because you know comfort purchased too soon will trap you in permanent limitation. I have seen men marry the wrong woman because they could not wait for the right one. I have seen men take the wrong job because they could not endure unemployment long enough to find the right position. I have seen men accept partnerships with dishonest individuals because they were too impatient to build alone. And every single one of them paid a price far greater than the temporary discomfort they tried to avoid. Impatience costs more than patience ever will. You want freedom, but you are not willing to endure the discipline that creates it. You want wealth, but you are not willing to delay gratification long enough to accumulate it. You want respect, but you are not willing to build the character that earns it. So you settle, you compromise, you take whatever is available now instead of waiting for what you truly want. And you call this realism. It is not. It is cowardice. True patience requires courage. It requires the courage to stand alone while others mock your dream. It requires the courage to work in obscurity while others enjoy attention. It requires the courage to keep building when nothing visible is happening, trusting that the foundation you are laying will one day support the structure you envision. Most men lack this courage, so they take the easy path. They accept immediate results that lead to long-term regret. But you were not made for that. If you were, you would not still be listening. Something in you knows you were designed for more. Something in you refuses to settle. Something in you is willing to wait as long as necessary, work as hard as required, and endure whatever must be endured to become the person your definite chief aim demands you become. This is the law. You cannot rise higher than the level of your character. You can have lucky breaks through circumstance, but you cannot keep what you have not earned through personal development. Life will test. Adversity will reveal your weakness. And if your character has not been forged strong enough to hold your success, it will slip through your fingers no matter how tightly you grip it. God knows this. That is why He makes you wait. Not to punish you, not to test your loyalty, not to see if you really want it. He makes you wait because the waiting refines you. It burns off impurities. It exposes false motives. It reveals what you are truly made of. And when the waiting is finished, when the refining fire has done its work, when you have become someone capable of receiving and multiplying what you asked for, then and only then does the blessing arrive. And when it arrives so perfectly, so precisely, so undeniably that you will look back on every delay and see it was not delay at all. It was preparation. Every closed door was protecting you from a path that would have destroyed you. Every no was redirecting you toward a yes you were not yet ready to receive. Every obstacle was instruction in the skills you would need later. Every moment you thought you were standing still, you were actually being positioned. But you will only see this in hindsight if you do not quit. Thomas Edison endured 10,000 failed experiments before he succeeded. Do you think he saw those as 10,000 failures? He did not. He saw them as 10,000 ways that did not work, and each one brought him closer to the way that would. He did not grow impatient. He did not curse God for making him wait. He did not abandon his definite purpose and start working on a different invention. He stayed. He persisted. He believed. And when he finally succeeded, the entire world was illuminated. That is what patience produces. Not slow results. Permanent results, not partial success. Complete transformation, not temporary gain. Lasting legacy, but only if you endure the refining fire without retreating from it. Most men retreat. They feel the heat and step back. They face the pressure and look for an easier path. They want the reward without the refinement. It does not work that way. You cannot become a man of steel in a bed of feathers. You cannot develop strength without resistance. You cannot build character without challenge. The very thing you are trying to avoid is the thing you most need. The delay you resent is the classroom you require. So stop demanding immediate results. Start demanding permanent transformation. Stop praying for quick solutions. Start praying for the strength to endure long ones. Stop asking God to change your circumstances. Start asking Him to change you until your circumstances have no choice but to reflect the person you have become. You think it. You feel it. You act on it. You become it. This is not metaphysics. This is natural law. Thoughts held in mind produce their physical equivalent, but only after enough time has passed for those thoughts to crystallize into belief, and for that belief to direct consistent action, and for that action to create compound results. You cannot compress this timeline. You cannot skip steps. You cannot cheat the process. Every man who has tried has failed. Every man who has honored it has succeeded. So the question is not whether God is late. The question is whether you are ready. Are you doing the work that prepares you to receive what you ask for? Are you building the character that can sustain success? Are you eliminating the habits that would sabotage your progress? Are you developing the faith that can endure delay without doubt? If not, then you are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you, and He will wait as long as necessary. He is patient. He is never in a hurry. He is never late. He operates on a timetable that considers not just what you want, but what you need. Not just what would make you happy today, but what would fulfill your purpose for a lifetime. Not just what you ask for, but what you are capable of becoming if you endure the process of becoming it. This is why adversity is not punishment. It is preparation. This is why delay is not denial. It is development. This is why obstacles are not enemies. They are instructors. And the moment you stop resenting them and start learning from them, you stop being their victim and start being their master. I have seen men wait 20 years for their opportunity and seize it with such force that they achieved in 5 years what other men could not achieve in a lifetime. I have seen men endure poverty so long that when wealth finally arrived, they knew exactly how to multiply it, because the poverty had taught them discipline. I have seen men face failure so many times that when success appeared, they were unshakable because failure had no power over them anymore. These men were not lucky. They were prepared. And they were prepared because they used the waiting time. They did not waste it in bitterness. They did not squander it in doubt. They invested it in becoming someone worthy of the blessing they were waiting to receive. And when that blessing arrived, it found them ready. You are being made ready right now. Every delay is adding to your readiness. Every challenge is increasing your capacity. Every moment you choose faith over fear, persistence over quitting, patience over panic. You are becoming the person your dream requires you to be. And when you have become that person, when the inner transformation is complete, the outer transformation will follow so swiftly, you will wonder why you ever doubted. But you must not quit. You must not quicken. You must not abandon your definite chief aim because the path is longer than you. Expectant, every worthwhile thing in life takes longer than expected. Every great accomplishment requires more than anticipated. Every dream worth achieving demands more patience than you thought you had. But you do have it. It is inside you right now, waiting to be called forth. Call it forth. Decide that you will endure as long as necessary. Decide that you will become whoever you must become. Decide that you will pay whatever price is required. And then stop counting the days. Stop measuring the progress. Stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. Your race is not their race. Your preparation is not their preparation. Your blessing is not their blessing. God has something specifically designed for you, and it will arrive at precisely the moment you are ready to receive it. Not 1 second too early. Not 1 second too early. Not 1 second too late. Right on time. Divine time. Perfect time. That is what it means to say God is never late. He is always exactly on schedule. Your schedule. The schedule that accounts for who you must become before you can handle what you ask for. And if you trust that schedule, if you honor that process, if you remain faithful through the waiting, you will look back one day and see that every delay was deliberate. Every obstacle was purposeful. Every closed door was protection. Every moment you thought you were being denied, you were actually being refined. And when your time comes, when your preparation is complete, when your character is ready, the doors will not just open. They will be thrown wide. Opportunities will not trickle. They will flood. Success will not come slowly. It will arrive with such force that you will need every ounce of strength you built during the waiting just to handle it. This is why you wait. This is why you endured. This is why you did not quit when everything in you wanted to. You were being forged into someone strong enough to carry what is coming. And what is coming is greater than anything you could have received earlier, because you are greater than who you were when you first asked. So be patient, not passive, not weak, not resigned. Be actively, courageously, faithfully patient. Work while you wait. Build while you trust. Prepare while you believe. And know with absolute certainty that God is never late. He is right on time. Always. If this message stirred something in you, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more truth like this, truth that does not comfort you but challenges you to become more than you are, subscribe and commit to your own transformation. The time you invest in building your mind is the only investment that pays dividends forever.